I was just flying the Gemfan 2009 by 3.
I got my goggles on, my socks are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco ball. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Move it low, we fly that flow. Grab that gap, no time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control. Bounce that wall, we fly it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. It's Whoop Wednesday. We're going to take a look at BL Heli versus Bluejay tonight. Atreides over at Fly533 messaged me the other day and said, dude, we just had two exact builds. They were 3-inch, I think 4S, 3S or 4S builds, but two identical builds. One on BL Heli, one on Bluejay, and the BL Heli one was making more power and turning faster lap times. We tested Bluejay versus BL Heli here, but it was literally years ago. And so, yeah, let's retest it. I've got a totally different testing sort of methodology here. We've got the adjustable power supply that we can lock down at 4 volts. And then we can go ripping across the living room to try to look at the max RPM that we can get. And so, yeah, back when I was testing it, it was more just like fly it around and see which one feels like it has more power. So let's test it properly. And also, this is going to give me the chance to test Bluejay 0.16, the last version of Bluejay that the main original dude worked on before he left that team, versus 0.21. And that could be cool as well. So we're going to test BL Heli versus Bluejay 0.16 versus Bluejay 0.21. I have a funny feeling that Bluejay is going to outperform BL Heli. I think maybe they saw something on 4S that's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like enough people have tested Bluejay versus BL Heli on Tiny Whoops that there's not going to be any, unless 0.21, unless something happened in Bluejay 0.21. But yeah, let's find out. It shouldn't be that hard to test. Yeah, we can get, so what we'll do is hook it up to the adjustable power supply and hold the quad and do some like loaded, I guess I'll do them in, yeah, I might as well do it inside of Betaflight. And we can look at the RPM that we can get while we're holding the thing, simulating a thrust stand. But then we'll also put it up in the air. I've got 6 very fresh Weebleed 1S 300 mAh BT 2.0 batteries on the charger. So we'll run 2, maybe 3. No, we'll run 2 batteries each. Yeah, put it up in the air, rip it across the living room, look at what the RPM numbers are, and that'll give us the unloaded, like, actual RPM, right? Thrust stands are great and all, but in the real world, we don't tie our quads down to stuff. We let them fly through the air. And as soon as you're moving through the air, there's basically incoming air, which lets the motors unload, is what we call it. It makes the motor's job easier, basically. When you hold this thing down and whop it to full throttle, it's got to take all that non-moving air and move it. And in the real world, that only happens for the split second where, like, you're hovering, basically, and then you hammer the throttle. Or, like, if you're coming down from a dive, and at the bottom of the dive, you hammer the throttle. There's a split second where it's frozen in space, but then it immediately starts moving, and that lets the motors wind up to a higher RPM. This is why a lot of times in thrust stand results, really high kV motors will not do all that well. But then you fly them in the real world, and they're amazing. And, like, they definitely make more power than the lower kV versions. It's because of that ability for the motors to kind of unload and spin up to a higher RPM, since, the whole weight of the rig is smashing through the non-moving air. So, yeah. FizzPV was first, Sporny was next, Frank Nicholas, Rays, McMucus, J-Dubs, Whoop Fox, Giddybot, Spaceman Spiff, Douglas Otwell, Nyafu, Alec Dvornik, sorry. Rocket, 421 Mantis, Jimmy the Cow, Green Thumb, Frank Nicholas, Striker, what's up, friends? The flight footage at the beginning of the live stream was this little baby turtle, not on these propellers. I believe it was on the HQ 2 by 1.5 by 2 biblades. I still haven't flown it on this. It's been raining all day, and it was raining all day yesterday as well. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I get to try this on these GemFan 2023 tri-blades. I don't have super high hopes. I have a feeling that on 1S it's not going to have enough grunt for these big, heavy, draggy propellers, but you never know. This is the propeller that this build is going to live on. mainly because these are really the only strong tri-blades that'll keep me from ruining loads of motors. Bi-blades on a freestyle rig that you're going to crash a lot kind of suck, because basically what happens is every single time that you crash sideways or inverted, the propeller might hit the ground first, but even if it does, it rotates out of the way, and then the motor bell bangs directly against the ground, and that will bend these little 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter motor shafts in a hurry. So bi-blades are really not the way if you're going to fly hard like I do and crash a lot. You need to do a tri-blade, and unfortunately in the 2-inch world, there aren't many tri-blades. These Gemfan 2023 S's, from what I can find, are the only tri-blades that are like modern and are going to be any good. Gemfan has an older 2-inch tri-blade, but it's of that older generation where it's not super well balanced, and it doesn't have a really strong prop profile. These 2023s are amazing, but I have a feeling that these are going to be so draggy and heavy that I need 2S, which is kind of where I was going with this anyway, to have a good enough response time that they feel nice and crisp in the air. But we're starting small on these baby turtles, and then we're going to beef it up from there. But yeah, for right now, this is kind of an experimental, just like get the 1S testing out of the way build. I've been pretty surprised, though, to be honest, on these brand new Beta FPV 1102 22,000s that came on the Meteor 7504 that they recently sent me. This thing is actually really fun. On the I didn't love it on the 2015 bi-blades. I liked it better on the HQ 2 by 1.5 by 2s. But again, you can't really crash that setup all that hard. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, this guy needs to be on these Gemfan 2023s. Speaking of these Gemfan 2023s, I had a bag of these and it has just disappeared. So I need to do I need to get some more of these ordered. But I just happen to have this this set here. I had to dig deep, man. I have one of these guys. I really love this. This is one of Custom FPV's designs. And this little guy has a spot for the original Tiny Whoop prop puller, and then clockwise and counterclockwise. And what I've done with this is put 2 of every single Tiny Whoop prop in here. And it saved me a couple times. It's nice and small, so like you bring it with you wherever you go, but also it gives you a full set of propellers. And so I had to rob these Gemfan 2023 S's from this little kit. But yeah, super nice, super small, flat, throw it in your bag, always keep it around. Have 2 of every single propeller floating around and ready to go at any given time. So yeah, get you one. You can almost certainly order that directly from Custom FPV if you want it with like custom colors, or if you want him to put your logo on the front, or any logo on the front really. So yeah, Custom FPV, message him on Instagram, tell him I sent you, and he might help you out. I feel bad because I forget who it was that caught these on FPV Marketplace, but finally, I didn't really want this one, but this. I've been looking for this Lumineer Paraguard absolutely forever. Just asking you guys to kind of keep your eyes open for it, and eventually it did work. This is the smallest balance board that I've ever seen, which also has the poly fuses on it, and yeah, the automotive fuses here, and then it's got poly fuses internal as well. I've been dying for this for my kit that I travel with, just to take up as little space as possible. What I've been using for the last like couple of years, Bob Noxious actually sent me this one, which has been great. And what's funny is it's almost the same size, but in a different way. is this HGLRC one. This is kind of like the second smallest one that I've ever seen. This one's kind of nice because it does have XT60 and XT30, but I actually prefer... I hate trying to plug in to these guys directly on this thing, so what I really prefer to do is use one of these things. It's just a little XT60 to XT30 adapter. Just one of these guys. The reason why I like it is that a lot of times with these batteries, either the balance lead or the XT30 is really small. And so when you plug them, when you try to plug them directly both in to the balance board, the battery then like sits up in the air, and that's like putting a bunch of stress on the wires and the battery, right? With these little guys, it makes it so much easier because this is hanging off, but then also this is long enough where the battery can actually sit on the table next to it. I also really like the little rainbow bastards. So the full setup of this little board will probably also have these hanging off it. So like, because like these are fine. This is totally fine. And on this Luminaire board, they have the ground clearly marked, and they do have the little like double blocker here to make sure you can't plug it in wrong. But this is just so much better. And so you run this guy here, and then you have one individual plug for 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, 6S. So you really can't kind of screw this up. And so now you've got both of these guys that can just sit, and the battery will sit flat on the table. It's quicker, it's easier to plug in. You're not trying to, you know, what the problem is once you have like 3 batteries plugged into this, like it's, you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Whereas with these guys, they don't take up much space, right? Like in my suitcase, they sit nice and flat. And so I can have 4 of these guys, 4 of these guys, and it's just super quick. You can pick this thing up, two-hand it. This also helps you not pull on the wires, right? Like with this and with this, you can grab the actual connector on both sides and pull the connector apart rather than pulling the wires apart. If you pull connector by connector, you'll never have the situation where you yank the leads off of the XT30 or even worse, off of the balance lead. So, yeah, this little XT60 to XT30, and then this little guy, you can get these on eBay or Amazon. Super, super, super helpful to make your batteries last longer. And it just makes the whole kind of charging situation a lot easier. If you've got somebody like, you know, every once in a while, somebody will help me out, cycle batteries. This is going to make that so much easier, right? So that they don't accidentally plug it in wrong here. It's just, yeah, this is a really slick setup. But yeah, this HGLRC, they call it Thor. HGLRC Thor Charger Board Integration Pro. There's nothing wrong with this. It's got this like clear plastic on the front. I don't think it has poly fuses though. It might, but I have a feeling it doesn't. It does have like a little discharger down the bottom here, which is kind of interesting, but I never used it. And so, yeah, it's funny though, once this thing actually, like the pictures of this thing made it look like really, really small. And once it showed up, I was like, that's not, I mean, it's a different shape. It's not necessarily smaller. It's just kind of a different shape. It's kind of like, yeah, if you took this thing and cut it in half and put it next to itself. But I'm glad to finally have it. It does have a little buzzer on it. I wonder what that's for. Maybe if something's about to catch on fire, it will buzz. I don't know. But yeah, super. You guys can stop looking for this. I now have one. And the auction also had one of these guys, which is kind of interesting because this is XT30 only, which I actually don't like. But because of the fact that I like to use these XT60 to XT30s, I don't have any XT30 to XT60s. You wouldn't really want to use an XT30 to XT60 because XT30 doesn't want to take that extra current, right? And so XT60 60 to 30 is really what you want. You want your balance board to be XT60. If you're only ever going to use XT30s, this is totally fine. But yeah, no, I'm not going to use this thing. I'll probably either put this up on my Etsy store or put it into one of the giveaways at some point here. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool. I am kind of tempted to use it because I pretty much never use XT60 batteries when I'm traveling with my gear, but at some point when I do, this will be super nice, so I'm keeping this one. This is going to be the main one. Also, this has 6. This is a 6-port. I don't need to do 6 at a time. I would rather do a higher voltage. The chargers that I bring with me max out at 3.5 amps, and so charging 4 batteries at a time, 3.5 amps, is pretty slow. I would not want to charge 6 batteries at a time at 3.5 amps. That would end up taking too long. 4 batteries at a time at 3.5 amps is almost perfect for like the workflow that I have at the live streaming events. And so like those 4 batteries come off at a perfect time, and then I start flying those, get the other 4 on, and then I usually have like another 2 or 3 extra batteries that can kind of be like a little bit of a buffer. But yeah, I guess if anybody wants this, shout out to Bob Noxious for sending this to me. That was very cool of him. If anybody wants to buy this maybe will be on my these will both either end up on the Etsy store or in a giveaway. But if you're desperate for one of these, let me know and I will gladly sell them to you. I paid a lot. To be honest, I paid like $60 for these 2, which is damn near what they cost new. It might even be more than what they cost new. But I just wanted it. And it's not like a balance board is going to go bad, so like it's fine. But yeah, these 2 are going to be available. Let me know if you're desperate for them. Save me from having to put them onto my Etsy store and take pictures and do a description and all that jazz. All right. So yeah, exciting, man. I'm way more excited about this balance board than I should be. But it's like that, you know? Like, it's like that when you find that one weird thing that you've been looking for, you know? In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, just type CiottiFPV. I forgot to put this over there. Look at this fucking mess I made. What happened here? Hey, yo, way, shit. All right. Here we go with this, and this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. There we go. All right. In the chat, Jimmy the Cow tagged me and said, "Love you, bro. Happy Thanksgiving. Take it easy tomorrow and relax. Practice water slide stickers on your fingernails or something." Oh. Sporny says, "Looking hot again. How are you, dude?" I'm all right. I'm kind of recovering from a little depressive episode, which is never fun, but that's my life. I fist fight depression each and every day, and some days I come out on top, some days I do not. But you know, just gotta wake up and do it again. Keep doing it. Denzel the Cerebral says, "Good evening, CiottiFPV and all you stinkers." Striker says, "On a build where you have arm tips that stick out, wouldn't it be better to have bi-blades since you would rather it hit the arm than the prop and bend the motor shaft?" Now, the propeller blades bend very easily. In the amount of energy in a collision, these propeller blades will very easily bend out of the way. Also, it'll like rotate, like the prop will hit hard enough to rotate. So 2 things are going to happen. A, the propeller blade is going to bend slowly enough to absorb the energy of the impact before it bends the motor shaft or does anything. Motor shafts bend from a sharp hit, i.e. the motor bell smashing into the ground. And B, when the prop hits, it's going to give it enough time. It's going to like allow it to then rotate one direction or the other direction. So yeah, tri-blades are always going to crash better than bi-blades. Always, 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 regardless of the frame or anything like that. really tempted to build one of these on 2S with a custom 2.5-inch frame that has the motor protection because I love that bi-blade slide. When you don't have the prop guards, it's plenty slidey. Yeah, on the tri-blades, it's totally fine. Tri-blades are the way to go when you don't have prop guards. When you have prop guards, the bi-blades tend to be the way to go, but not always. We're, as always, we are limited by the gear that's available. So for any given prop size or motor size or whatever, a lot of times there'll only be one or two things that exist that are well balanced, durable, right? Available where you live, that kind of stuff. B Mud Skipper says hello. You can FPV says happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Captain Calgary says I've convinced the boys to drive to Castle Crash 2026. 36-hour drive. How is that possible? Oh my god. 36. I didn't think that you could drive that far in America. That far. What's the longest drive in North America? Holy shit, dude. 36 hours. Key West, Florida to Alaska, 5,480 miles. Jesus Christ. Wowee. The longest continuous drive in North America is the Trans-Canada Highway, which spans approximately 4,645 miles. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize it was that far. Oh my god, dude. That's insane. Why not fly? You gotta fly that, bro. Don't drive that. That's too much. You gotta fly that. Although flying becomes as I found out last year, I'd never thought about this. Holy shit, flying becomes so much more expensive when you have children. I my whole life I've only really looked at flight prices with either myself and my mate. But then you double that with 2 children and it's holy hell. So yeah, that's insane, dude. 36 hours. Jesus Christ. Streger says, I heard bi-blades were more durable on 75mm plastic frame. Is that true? You can't really... There's no answer to that question. It depends on the frame. It depends on the prop. It depends on a million different things. If it's there's just too many variables there. What's more durable? More durable for the frame, more durable for the prop, more durable for the motor, right? Too many variables there. Calgary says we're pulling a trailer, so we have comfort. LOL. Nice. Okay, fair enough. Off Axis says I've driven across Canada 3 times. Jesus, how long does it take to go across Canada? I mean, that's probably this. Yeah, it's the same thing as going from East Coast to West Coast in the U.S. So that's probably what 14 to 16 hours. I would assume 3 days. Off Axis says. My God. Green Thumb says, LOL, UK is 875 miles long. All right, cool. So, I'm actually really, really, really interested to see BL Heli versus Bluejay. So let's get going. Let me pick. I'm gonna pick a build that is high ass KV. And that means this one. Yeah. So we're going to go with this, which is the Mobula 6 2024 version 1, direct soldered 40,000 kV Weebleed motors. First thing I'm going to do is a little health check. As a reminder, how to health check your stuff. You should be doing this all the time. This has... Let me just make sure. Yep, this has HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 propellers. Mobula 6 2024 AIO version 1, direct soldered. BT 2.0 with the excellent little LED piece. the custom red ORT Micro V that are over on my Etsy store, and Runcam Nano 3 camera, old school Mobula 6 canopy, and Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 frame. So very, very similar. You know, you could argue that this is kind of like the current Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop. I still think I'm on team 2G4, to be honest. But if you want a little bit of a lighter setup, this is it. You know, there doesn't just have to be one exact setup. The lighter AIOs always have a little bit more video noise, so that's one of the ways to pick. What do you want? Less weight and more video noise, or a little bit more weight and a little bit cleaner video? I change my mind every day, so it's kind of either or. So we're going to do all of the ESC updating at escconfigurator.com because it has BL Heli S in there. I have the BL Heli S configurator on my computer here, but every time I launch it, it bombs. And so after a couple times, I just said to hell with it. But easiest possible way to check the health of any build is going to be with turtle mode. And so let's do that first. Are these batteries? How are these batteries doing? Okay, these are all charged, but we're not going to use these quite yet. I probably have a battery with a little bit of juice in it sitting here in front of me. 3.8, that's not the one. 3.9, that's the one. Let me just check real quick. 3.9, that's another one. Why are these not discharged down farther than this? Let's see. That one's correct. Okay, any one of these are going to be fine. So, every single time you have a hard slam, flip your transmitter into turtle mode, and just fire up each motor individually while you're holding the quad. That is the best possible way, and is one of the really unique ways that we can check the motors and the props on a tiny whoop. You can't really do this on anything bigger because you'll cut your fingers off. So you flip it into turtle mode, and you very gently spin each motor up individually. So motor 1, 2, 3, 4. See if you can hear the difference between these four. Ready? You only want to spin them up a little bit. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's one again. So that's all four. I have a feeling you might have been able to hear motor 1 being a little bit more rattly. That's probably okay. Usually, like, a little bit of rattliness in the motors is completely fine. What you can't hear, but what I can feel with my fingers, is that motor 2 is vibrating the worst out of all four of these. And that's really all that matters, right? Like, the first time somebody does this test, the question's going to be, well, like, how much vibration is too much vibration? And the answer is, well, which one is the worst? If the quad is starting to fly like shit, whichever one's the worst, you change the propeller first, and then if that doesn't help, you change that motor, and you see if it gets better. And then you just keep doing that. You just keep testing these things, and after a bunch of time, you'll figure out, like, exactly how much vibration is too much vibration. This is not too bad. The other thing that you want to do here is go full power with each motor and listen. This is where you can really hear the difference. And so when you do just a little bit of really gentle, just to spin up slowly, that's where you're going to feel the vibrations. But we're going to do the listen test here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Nope. Hold on. Let me let the gyro calibrate. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty close. I'll do it again. That was 1 and then 3 at the end there. Motor number 1 is turning the lowest RPM. But it's really not bad. Again, the question that everybody asks themselves is, well, like, how much of a pitch... What you're listening for is a pitch difference. As the motor spins faster and faster, the pitch that it makes goes up. Right? And so, like, one of these motors is at, like, and the other motors are up at, like, and so that's what you want to listen for. If these goddamn motors weren't direct soldered, I would maybe swap out motors 1 and 2, but they're direct soldered, and that makes it a nightmare. So I'm not going to do anything. That's the problem with direct soldered motors, is you don't fix them. You just keep flying it until one of them completely explodes. And, you know, I mean, that's kind of fine, but it's also kind of annoying. So yeah, motor 2, potentially the propeller is banged up. If we're lucky, the propeller is banged up. If I were to switch... Let's do it. Let's switch the propeller and see if... Well, let me see. Let me see if I have another one of these red props. 1.2 by 0.9. I do. All right, so let's just for the sake of having the cleanest possible build for this testing. Not that it really matters, but... Oh, God. Usually, when you start to get motors that vibrate on them, it's the motor shaft that is bent. This right here is how you check that. I've already identified that motor number 2 is vibrating the worst. And so if I change the propeller to a fresh one, make sure it is a fresh propeller. Yep, that one is. Always make sure that you drill the prop out before you put it on the motor so that you don't ruin the motor. I have these drill bits over on my Etsy store. They are $5 each. They will easily save what you will pay for them. If you buy both the 0.99 and the 1.46 and you save one motor, which you will, they've already paid for themselves. After that, you'll start making money off of them. And so now we've got a fresh prop on here. I'm going to save this propeller just for the moment because it might be totally fine. And now we're just going to repeat that test. Okay. All right, so now same deal. I'm going to hold it in my hands and I'm going to spin these motors up really gentle. To spin the motors up really gentle, you're only going to move this like that much. And like you'll feel it. You'll feel that when it spins really slowly, there are more vibrations than when you start to crank it up. And so, motor 1, motor 2. Oh, it is actually a little bit better. 3, 4, 2. The motor shaft is bent on motor 2. It's a little bit better. But it's still the worst of the motors. But it is a little bit better. So I'm going to throw this propeller away because that does mean that it is banged up. And so, yeah, you don't really need to know how much vibration is too much vibration because you've got 4. You've got 4 different motors, 4 different propellers to test every single time. You're looking for the worst one, and then you're going to try to improve it or just store it away in your head. Hey, that one's getting really bad, but the rig still flies fine. I'm just going to keep flying it. All right, so I can stop abusing this battery that was only at storage voltage. And now we can dive on in to the actual Bluejay versus BL Heli. Bluejay 0.16 versus Bluejay 0.21 versus BL Heli testing. First thing I want to do is see what version of Bluejay this is currently on. There's a chance that I'll need to switch over to a 2G4 build. I just thought of this because some AIOs do not have a version of do not have the right hex for Bluejay version 0.16. I prefer Bluejay 0.16. I've just had better luck with it. 0.21 seems to be fine, but like Bluejay 0.17, 0.18, 0.19, did some really weird stuff. And so we're going to come in here to ESC configurator. We're going to put power to the AIO real quick. And we're going to click connect in the top right corner. And then read settings in the bottom right corner. And we're going to turn the transmitter off, which is already off. And then all you got to do is look right here. So OH5 is basically like the hex, so to speak, of this specific AIO, and then Bluejay 0.16 at 48 kilohertz. So this is the starting point. This is a perfect starting point. Motor timing, I'm actually going to move to medium. Medium, Chris Rosser says, is the right motor timing to run. And so I'll just make that change real quick. Your startup power is going to have nothing to do with this. Really nothing here is going to have anything to do with this other than the motor timing. So none of this shit needs to change or be set up the same on every single one. And so we're good to go. I'm going to pull power. That's probably going to disconnect it. Oh, look at that. It didn't. All right. So initial testing here is going to be with the power supply set to 4 volts constant. I need to pull it forward a little bit for this to be able to reach. And I'm just going to hold this thing in my hand to simulate a loaded thrust stand. This is going to put more stress on these motors than they'll ever feel in the real world, but that's fine. So these are the Weebleed 40,000 kV 0702s. And what we're going to do is connect in Betaflight here so that we can look at the RPM readouts. And so we're going to come into the motors tab. That's modes, not motors. And we understand the risks. The motors are all spinning the correct direction because I didn't change any of that. And so we're going to fire each one of these motors up individually, and then we're just going to look here at the RPM. This is also a way of checking the health of each motor. This is kind of the fancier way of checking the health of each motor. So the quad is hanging off this side. I am going to grab it with my hand, and then we're going to quickly go full throttle on each one of these and quickly look at the RPM that it turns. Whoops. So you got to ease into it a little bit. 64, 65,000. 70, Jesus, that's a big difference. So that was motor 1. That was the one that we could hear was turning lower. And it's 5,000 RPM lower. That's actually a lot. Let's give it one more shot. Oh, there it hit 70. What was that about? Hold on. Okay, motor 1 has come back to life. There's 6970 on motor 2 as well. 6970 on 3. 6970 on 4. So I'm going to type into the chat. Woo! 69 to 70. 0.16. 0.16 dash 69 to 70. Dash, and then we're going to keep going. We're going to whip this thing across the room upstairs. So unplugging from the power supply. And so now we're going to do the actual like real world runs upstairs. So let's, and you know, I'm going to use 2 batteries and then I'm going to put them back on the charger so that like these are very fresh Weebleed batteries. Like I think I've only cycled these like 4 or 5 times, but God forbid one of these batteries is a little bit weaker than the others. I don't want that to bleed over into the test results. And so I'm going to pick these 2 batteries. They just came off the charger. We're going to run them. I'm going to put them immediately back on the charger. That'll bring them up to full voltage. I'll pull them off, and then in theory, once we've made the changes, they'll be back up to full charge. I'm not going to fly the whole battery. I'm just literally going to go right upstairs, do 2 big blasts across the room to get the RPM numbers, and then come right back down here, swap the battery out, do it again. So we'll have 4 blasts to compare the RPMs of. And you know what? I'm going to add this I'm gonna add this to the where the hell is it? I'm gonna add this to the TinyWhoop spreadsheet. I'm gonna add another tab on the TinyWhoop spreadsheet that patrons have access to. Where the hell is it? There's TinyWhoop prop testing. That's not the one that I want. Here we go. CiottiFPV TinyWhoop data. Okay, so I'm going to add another tab down the bottom. Why do I have two of these? Hold on, I can combine these two spreadsheets. Here we go. Copy this. What is this? TinyWhoop prop testing. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in. There we go. Not sheet 6. Prop testing. There we go. All right, so let me move this tab over here. And okay, cool. Now I can close this. That's pretty cool. Weights. What about this weights one? I have another spreadsheet with weights. What the hell's going on here? Oh, this is just generic. Okay, so this is all FPV weights. Yeah, I see. This isn't TinyWhoop specific. Okay, cool. So CiottiFPV TinyWhoop data, that's great. I'm going to make a new tab here called a new sheet rather, called BL Heli versus Bluejay. Great, Bluejay. Okay, so we're gonna do first column is going to be, let's just say firmware, whatever, that's fine. Bluejay 0.16, Bluejay 0.21, and then BL Heli. I don't know what version. We'll figure out the version in a minute. So then we're gonna do bench RPM at 4 volts, right? Yep, 4.0 volts. And then we're gonna do flight RPM. Flight RPM number 1. And we'll do flight RPM number 2. Bench RPM at 4 volts. Flight RPM number 1, number 2. Cool. That's all we need. All right. I'm just going to move this over here to make it easier for me to dump info into these. All right. So on 0.16, bench RPM at 4 volt was 69 to 70K. 69K to 70K. That was the average of all 4 motors. I'm glad that motor 1 kind of came back to life there. That was a little weird. Maybe there was just like a piece of dust or sand or a little piece of a hair in there that was slowing it down initially. Okay, now we're going to do the in-flight RPM. So Weebly battery going in. Hold on. Actually, we need to call out which quad this is. So we're going to take this, copy it, paste it down here. So this is Mob 6 2024. 0702 40K. All right, sweet. Mob 6 2024. I don't need 0702. They're all on 0702s. That's fine. 40K. Sweet. All right. That's good to go. Let's do this. Oh, we're already there. All right. Let's see what's up. Easy. Try not to kill anyone here. Ooh, had to abort that one. Actually, I want to see what RPM that one got. Like, what's an aborted run get up to? 58,716. All right, so 58.7. Fuck. 62. Yeah, it's a big difference. 60,200. Man, that's a lot of RPM. 60,200. And we're going to swap the battery out. Okay. Put it right on the charger. So 60,200. Okay. That's our first one. Now our second one. I'm going to try to get a clean run on the first hit. In theory, that's going to give me a little bit extra. But let's see. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Oh boy, Teddy coming. Oh, he coming. Oh God, Maggie. Whoo! Okay, that was a big one. Let's see where that is at. 60,566. Okay, awesome. Very repeatable. 60,566. Woo! Let me see what that one was. 59,000. Wow, it loses a lot of RPM. So 60,566. Call it 60,500. You know, let's do more than two. I would love to do like 6 batteries in a row doing that. The problem is it's like I'm gonna start crashing it. I'm gonna crash it at full throttle and it's gonna like explode. Let's do 3. I want to see how repeatable that is. Okay. All right, where's that put me? Whoa, what? 57. So there's a... Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I think this battery is a little weaker. Shit. Why'd that get no RPM reading? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. That's not great. Hold on. I think I noticed that this battery sagged a little bit more. When I initially took off, it was like 4 volts, and I don't pay a lot of attention to that, but I think that's a little low. Yeah, look at it. It's at 3.8 already. Let's all right, hold on. Let's do one more battery. I'm gonna put this battery aside actually. And we're gonna test this battery again. All right, let's throw another battery at it and see what it does. Here we go. Now, see, this sags down to 4 volts as well. Weird. Well, let's see what happens. 59,133. So I mean, we're getting close, but those first two batteries, it was definitely doing a little bit better with. Fuck it. I'm gonna throw all 6 of these batteries at it. What was that just now? 59,001, right? 59,166, I think. Let's just keep throwing batteries at it. Also, if there's like any weirdness with like the motors getting hot, I want to get that out of the way now. 59,001. Okay. All right. Don't you fucking... I can't believe these batteries sag from 4.3 all the way down to 4 volts from just taking them off like this. Whoo, shit, that was not a full run. But let's check it anyway. 58,800. Let's try that one more time. That was not really a full run either, but let's just check it. 59.3, that's pretty good. Let's try the last battery. 59.3. All right, 59.3. All right. And put this one right on the charger as well. Okay, so what do I got? I got 4 different ones. This battery is kind of banged up here. Oh, that's not one of the new ones. Okay. All right, last one. As magnets heat up, they don't work as well. And so that might be what we're seeing here. Those first 2 batteries, either the batteries were a little bit better or the motors were nice and cool. That was a good run. No, 57.2. What the hell? Let me see if I can get a better one. 57.2. Ooh, shit. 59.7. It was better. Oh, shit. Oh, hell. What did I just say? 59.7? Be right back. Hopefully it just threw a prop. God damn it, dude. I fucking hate direct soldered motors so much. Alright, well, this just got way more annoying. One of the motor leads broke off. So now we get to fix this stupid thing. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna have to do it while it's in the frame, which is just gonna be super annoying, but hopefully I can make this happen. And then we're gonna have to retest a little bit to make sure that that one motor wire was not like kind of holding it back. Wow, that battery took that battery took a little bit of a beating there. All right, so hold on. Fuck. Yeah, god damn you. Damn you! Alright, here we go. Do this as quick as I can. So, to do this, you can be somewhat successful by just popping the flight controller up a little bit. The problem is these motor wires are all pretty short, so I'm not going to have much distance to pick this thing up in here. This is going to be ultra annoying. It happened on motor 2. So, oh man, this is bullshit on a stick. Oh, bro, I can't get like any. Fuck you. All right, so what I'm going to do is take both right side motors off. And then I'm going to try to angle the flight controller up and over. Motor 2 was not making any less power than the rest of the motors, so this was caused by that horrendous slam. Almost certainly. So let me get this stripped a little bit. Let's put magnification on my head so I can see what in the hell I'm doing here. And we're just going to strip the tiniest little bit off because the AIO is very, very thin. Okay, perfect. And let's get it tinned real quick here. Good. And let's see what we can do here with just picking this side up. Okay, that might be just barely enough. Man, that's going to be close though. Hold on, let's see if I can pick it up a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so need to kind of thread this through. And I also got to try to like remove the strands of wire that are currently in that pad. I'm gonna push the motor most of the way through here. All right, so let me first try to get the strands of wire out of that little pocket pad on the corner here. Let's see what I can do with this. I'm gonna pull up from the bottom. I'm gonna try to pull it out of there. Okay. And now I'm going to use the side of the tip of the soldering iron because it's a little bit skinnier. Yeah, there we go. So I got it out of there, but now it's stuck to the board. I'm going to try to pull it out like that. There we go. There's some of it. Try to get the rest of it here. Being as careful as I can to not touch the duct because, good God, it just annihilates the plastic on these ducts. Just kind of pulling outwards. All right, that should be most of it. So now, let's get that wire peeked through here. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but man, these direct soldered motor wires break so much more often than than when they've got the plugs on them. For me, at least, I've heard people say the opposite. But I don't know, man. I do a lot of testing. I do a lot of crashing. Undoubtedly, it's lighter weight to not have the plugs. And so if you're just going for all-out performance, it's a no-brainer. You're going to direct solder them. But with the motor plugs, they perform totally fine for me. And so I'll take much better serviceability all day, every day. Just trying to move the work around a little bit. rather than moving myself around the work. And so I want to get a little bit of an angle on that wire. There we go. And now let's see. Shit. All right, well, now that I have to rework it, I'm going to add flux. The wire moved up a little bit too far. So that's a pretty big blob of flux. I wish I hadn't put that much on there, but it'll be fine. We're nowhere near the motors, so it'll be cool. All right, let's come in here. And I think that's about perfect, but let me just make sure. There it is. Cool. Silicone is butted up against the AIO really nicely, and the wire is all the way in the little pocket there. So we are good to go. Now let's get this crammed back together. And so make sure nothing's getting pinched here. Make sure we're getting the grommets nicely down on the little posts. All right. We'll screw this canopy down first here. Not that it really matters, but okay. That wasn't too bad. If it weren't for these direct soldered motors breaking off all the time, I would be much more willing to do it. But man, it like exactly that happens a lot. This particular rig, the motor wires are bordering on being too short, but not quite. They still have a little bit of slack to them. This build, I really tried to see how much weight I tried to see how light I could make a Mobula 6 2024, and so I cut the motor wires a little bit shorter than I ever had before, and I regret doing that. But you know, I mean, if you're gonna save weight, save weight. Yeah, I know. I hear you over there. Give me a second. Almost ready. Yeah. Hush up. Okay. Canopy is good. Now let's bolt these two motors back down. And we'll do a control run just to make sure that it's not all of a sudden making a bunch more power. It won't, because it's only one motor. But hey, we're here. We'll go all the way with this. This would not have anything to do with that weird RPM filter message that we got. Sometimes that just sort of happens after big crashes and you got to cycle the power to get it to go away. I don't necessarily know what the hell it is, but I've seen that a number of times, and cycling the power always makes it go away. Unless the ESC has exploded, which is why I said, oh shit. Okay. Almost there. These itty bitty little M1.4x2s that come with the Cockroach frames are hysterical. Shortest, lightest screws I've ever seen. All right, back in business. Everything looks fine. Okay, cool. So let's try this again. Although, I mean, I got five batteries worth. So we're looking pretty good here. But let me just grab the first battery that I ran, which is now fully charged on the charger again. And let's see what RPM that first battery turns real quick. So throw this on here. And away we go. Okay. Woo! What did that hit, I wonder? 58,366. That wasn't quite as big of a run on that one. There we go. Look at that. 60,000 right on the nose. Okay, cool. So that's close enough to that first run where we're good. All right, that's Bluejay 0.16. 5 runs, totally fine. Fuck it, I'll do that. I'll do that for the 6th. For the 6th data point, and then I'll keep putting this battery here on the first spot, and we'll run that first battery twice every single time. No, let's not do that. That battery that we just ran, the first time we did it, it was 60,200. So 60,200 to 60,000 right on the money. That's totally fine. Now we're gonna go to Bluejay 0.21, and then we'll finish up with BL Heli. So we plug in, we hook up an battery. We go to escconfigurator.com, esc-configurator.com, by the way. Plug in the battery, and then we go up here to connect. Read settings. We turn off our transmitter because for some strange reason that causes problems. And then we're going to go to flash all ESCs down here. And we're going to go Bluejay. Never touch this OH5. And then we're going to go to version 0.21. 48K PWM frequency, which is the same one that we were on before. And we flash. Break Faded says, I've got a Tiny Hawk 3 Freestyle that runs 2S, but Terry individual 1S PH 2.0 batteries. My question is, will it be worth it to cut that connector off and just add an XT30 for 2S? Two individual 1S PH 2.0 batteries. Probably not, because the double, think of it this way, the double, the amount of contact surface area in those double PH 2.0 connectors is probably about the same as an XT30. So I would maybe not go. I would maybe not spend that much time and effort because you're also going to have to change all the batteries that you run. You know what I mean? Cool. We're on Bluejay 0.21. 48K. Let's see if there's any difference. OH5. Everything's good. Unplug. And that very first battery is charging back up, but we've got batteries number 2 and 3 that we can run. So let's do it. Here we go. Big moment. Bluejay 0.16 versus 0.21. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm super curious. Transmitter coming up. Don't do that. Don't start with that shit. Don't! Oh my god, you are such a piece of shit. Oh. this thing plugged in here, getting all hot and shit. Here we go. And here we go. And here we go. Bill Bob says rage. Islander says, did Beta FPV send you the new batteries to test? They did not. I actually asked them about it, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So, I don't know. I might have to buy them. Okay. Here we go. For real this time. The fuck was that? What's happening? Oh, the motors won't spin. What? Let's power cycle it. What the hell's going on here? Bueller? Were the startup powers not jacked up? I thought they were. Let's take a look. I'm going to put this battery back on the charger since we're fucking around with all this now. I'm actually going to put both of these batteries back on the charger. And I'm going to grab this one that didn't perform all that well. Plug it in. And we're going to go back to ESC configurator here. Connect. Read settings. Oh, no, look at that. These are turned all the way down. Okay, I'm just going to max these out. Typically, you have to max them out anyway. So let's just do it. Motor timing is still on medium. Everything else looks totally fine. Turning off my transmitter. Come on. Come on. There it goes. Okay. Those guys are maxed out now. I expect they usually reset, but I could have sworn I looked and they were all the way maxed out. But maybe I was... Obviously, I was mistaken. All right, here we go. For real this time. And again, maxing those out, the startup power has nothing to do with the full stank power that it'll make. Come on, ELRS, connect, you bastard. There we go. Oh, wait, no, this is the shitty battery. We definitely don't want to run this battery. Now we know the motors are spinning now, so that's what matters here. Okay, cool. This is that same battery from a second ago. It is topped all the way up. Let's see what we can do here. All right, 0.21. What's it gonna be? 58,633. Pretty close. 58,633. Let's just do another one real quick. 58.6. Let's see what that second one was. 59.2. Wow, it did better on the second one. So 59.2. 59,200. All right. Get this battery on the charger. So now I got to be a little bit careful not to get these batteries mixed up here. Let me just move these around on the charger here. And okay, that's good to go. So this battery is done. We're going to put it in the back of the charger. This one is done, and this one is done. Let's run these next. And then these two batteries I'm going to put on the front of the charger. There we go. Okay, cool. Next battery. That is super close. 59.2. We've got 59.1, 59.3, 59.7. So it's looking like and I would expect Bluejay to be exactly the same in the different versions. I think we're going to see a difference with BL Heli, though. There we go. $59.6. Yeah, there's going to be no difference here in the different versions of Bluejay. Okay. 59.6. Back on the charger with it. And 59600. Okay. Maggie and I watched 2 more Pluribus episodes last night. We're totally caught up now. Unbelievable. Really, really, really fun show. Vince Gilligan is just so good. Everything he does is just so goddamn good. Here we go. Shit. 60-16. Come on, buddy. Come out of there. Yeah. What did I just say? 60,200, was it? Right? 60,200? Pretty sure. I know which battery that was. 1,200. It's funny. It's the other battery that did 60,000. It's the same battery that did 60,200. Yeah, I'm sure Maggie hates this right now, but, you know, for science. She's willing to sacrifice for science. I hope. These 2 other batteries are not quite fully charged, so let's do the bench test real quick while we give these other 2 a second. All right, so we're going to come in here and plug in USB. All right, power supply is set to 4 volts. And okay, come in here, connect motors, zoom you guys in a little bit, and here we go. 70, 69.70, 70. 69.70. The tiniest little bit better. But like that's too close. That's too close to say like that it's better. It's got to be 69 to 70. So if anything, 0.21, maybe. I don't think so, but if you want to be completely pedantic, it might be doing ever so slightly better on the bench test here. And so there we go. All right. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done all 4 motors in that, but I'm less interested in that. I would rather it just dump all the power into one individual motor, to be honest. But just for more data points, I could have done all 4 motors at the same time on there. These batteries are still not like fully charged. Come on. Well, that'll give me a second to get caught up on Chad here. These on? Of course they are. I forget to turn these Fat Sharks off all the fucking time. Nyafu just broke a motor wire while flying on a train track. Worst part is the train came 2 minutes later and I missed getting to chase it. That sucks. Levster says, hey dude, just came home from work, drinking hot chocolate, enjoying your stream. Love your stream. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys really love the stream, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and support me. That's the only way I can do this. Patreon keeps shit in the bed. So if you've got a couple extra dollars, it makes a huge difference. Just to give you some idea, the Patreon has gone down $100 in the last couple of months. So it's not like super panic time yet, but it's gone down, I think, about $300 this year total. So if you have a couple extra dollars, or like if you're doing like $3 a month and you can do $4 a month, every little thing makes a difference. Patreon is the best thing you can do, but I've also got an Etsy store where you can buy yourself some fun stuff. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me. Some t-shirts over at Teespring, and then loads of affiliate links. Change your bookmarks to affiliate links. Click the thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, grab your favorite clip from one of these live streams and post it in like one of your local Facebook groups. This way you don't have to be the person that everybody asks all these questions to. You know, get your friends over to this so that they can learn for themselves. Save yourself some hassle. Whoop Fox says, have you done conformal coating before? I have not. I have the bottle of the good stuff, but I've never really used it, mainly because everybody that I've talked to about it says that even when they conformal coat, it's like 50-50 whether or not it blows up. It started snowing here and I'm dying to get out, so I'm coating up my Mobula 8 X12. I'm meaning to do it. I'm going to do it at some point, but yeah. Don't think that it's going to be like guaranteed you're fine. Moto says, does the 2G4 fit okay in the Cockroach V3, or is the Super X or Crazy G a better fit? Totally fine. The 2G4 fits completely fine in all the frames that are like normally sized. The only frames you're going to have issues with are going to be like the Meteor 65 Pro or the Meteor 75 Pro. Those are both like unique frames that force you to run the cut down AIOs. Other than that, you'll be totally fine. Striker says, as if things couldn't get any worse, my Boxer for some reason doesn't turn on today. The light just cycles left and right and the screen doesn't even turn on. Oh god. Transmitters are always fun when they start acting up. Give it a little smack and it'll be fine. Don't hit it too hard though. Jimmy the Cow says, I'm looking at antennas for my quad, and some are listed at 2.7 gigahertz, others at 2.8. We fly 2.8, right? No, we fly 5.8. Well, it depends. 5.8 is what we fly for video, and then either 2.4 or 900 is what we fly for the transmitter link. ELRS is either 2.4 or 900. It's typically 2.4. Where are you seeing antennas that are 2.7 and 2.8? That's weird. There, he corrected himself. 5.7 and 5.8. Yeah, 5.8 is what you want. I mean, you could make the argument that, like, if you always run race 1, you should get an antenna that's 5.7, but don't do that. Run race 8 and get an antenna that's 5.8, because race 8 is as far away as you can get from Wi-Fi interference, and that does matter. Hey, one of these batteries is good to go. While we're running this one, the other one will probably finish up. So, let's get our last 2 data points. This is, to be honest, a bit of a waste of time, but we're going to do it anyway. He's a great man and thorough. Go see my doctor, Jeffrey. He's a great man. Thorough. Oh my god. Oh my god. How dare you? Ooh, that was a good one, and I didn't fucking crash either. It looks like one of these full throttle hits takes 0.1 out of the battery. 59,500. Yeah, these numbers are all super close together. 59,500, and we're going to do one more. So no difference between the different versions of Bluejay. Beautiful timing. This last battery just said okay. Perfection. All right. Last one. And then we go to Bluejay, to Heli S, old school. Whoo! Yeah, I'm getting better at it. 58,633. That's, well, we had a, yeah, I mean, that's a low one, but that's okay. Damn it. Hold on. That is not the weak battery either. Well, fuck it. Let's put it in there. 58,600. It's fine. We, you know, whenever we do this testing, there's always somebody that shits the bed. 58,600, I think it was. It's pretty obvious that the other ones were so tightly packed together that either I got that run a little bit wrong, or whatever. Maybe I ran those two batteries so close back to back that that the motors were a little bit hot, but that's fine. The other 5 results were absolutely dead on the money. So now we're going to come back into ESC Configurator, and we're going to flash Heli S and see what the deal is on a 1S high KV rig. Read settings. We're going to turn the transmitter off. Okay. And we're going to go to flash all ESCs, and we're actually going to change this to Heli S, and then... Oh, there's a beta. No, this has been beta forever. But let's not do that. Let's do this 16.7. Oh, it doesn't even give me an option of the Bing Bong. 16.7. Hopefully it'll tell me the PWM. Hopefully it'll tell me if it's 48. Let's see. If not, we'll just assume. Although I'm worried that 16.7 is not 48K, and that 16.71 is. So we'll do the bench test real quick on 16.7, and then we'll put it up to 7.1, and we'll do the bench test again to see if there's any difference there. Strager says the RC and Power 1404 Plus are seriously tickling my fancy. That's an odd thing to say. In the same KV, probably not effective KV, but listed KV, they make the same amount of thrust while being smaller and I think lighter. Then what? Like, what are you comparing that to? License to Drive's in the house. What's up, brother? He says, have you got a mini vise you could hold the whoop in to do some throttle punch tests in a repeatable environment? So that's what I'm doing when I hold this thing in my hand. It's doing exactly that. But that doesn't tell the full story. Like, holding a quad in place is not the way that we actually fly it. And so specifically, like really high KV motors, which this has, they will not do nearly as well when you're holding the quad down versus when you let it move through the air. And so the thrust stand testing is always a little bit off. The rail this thing across the room testing is the most accurate testing that we can do with it. So let's check Heli 0.7 here on the little bench test here, and then we'll put it up to 7.1 and see if there's any difference. So a solid 4 volts is going to this thing. We're going to connect to Betaflight, come into the motors tab, and let's see. Oh, you know what? You need 0.71 to use bidirectional D-shot, and that's the only way that I can get the RPM out of this thing. Let's do this, though. We're going to, just for the sake of argument, we're going to turn off bidirectional D-shot, and we're just going to listen to... So we've now lost all of our RPM data, but I'm curious. I just want to listen to the pitch that this thing gets up to without RPM data. Sounds exactly the same. Although these are now producing These motors are now spinning in the wrong direction. No, this one's not. That sounds exactly the same. The two motors that sound different are spinning in the wrong direction, which is why they sound different. But motors 1 and 4 are correct, and they sound just like... Yep, they sound exactly the same. So we're going to turn bidirectional back on. Yeah, BL Heli is so old that 0.71 of BL Heli S is the first one that would allow you to use the RPM data. So we have to use that, which is totally fine. And so let's get this going here. We're going to flash all ESCs, and now we need to go to this 7.1 flash. Okay, cool. Get that going here. Oh, fuck. Could not get file for flashing. What that means is that OH5, they never made... There weren't any ESCs with this OH5 on them back in the day. God damn it, dude. This isn't going to work, but we'll try it anyway. Fuck. I should have used a 2G4. God damn it, dude. This isn't... You fucker. Unbelievable. Oh. Are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. This isn't gonna accomplish anything. This is... Oh, you fucker, you. Oh, dude, really? Well, so that, I mean, that highlights a big problem with saying, like, BL Heli is better, because there are going to be a lot of ESCs and AIOs that BL Heli is not going to have a current version for, just like this. So there's that. Come on, you giant steaming turd. Dude. Cycle the power again. Hold on. Oh, come on, man. Don't be like this. Don't be like weirdly bricked because I put BL Heli on it. Fuck you. I have to use Chrome. I just tried to open it in Firefox. No, not like this. You know what? I bet you it's because I turned that on. Let's turn that back off. Wait, no, that wouldn't make any sense. Come on, dude. Please. Please work. Wow, that's weird. Now it's fine. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. With that RPM filtering turned on, there was no connection because it didn't know what the hell was going on. Oh, balls. Well, hold on. Maybe, just maybe. Nope. Could not get file for flashing. Fuck. OH5. All right, let me get this back onto 0.16. You know what? No, I'll leave it on 0.21. That's fine. It was working totally fine on 0.21. Bluejay, 0.21, 48K. Flash. I'm not going to test 24 because it's definitely going to give lower RPM. I'm not going to test 0.96 because it's definitely going to give a little bit more RPM. 0.24 is if you want more motor braking. 0.96 is if you want a little bit more efficiency, a little bit more power, but drastically worse motor braking and worse flight performance. That has been tested to death. We do not need to test PWM frequencies. That is a known quantity. Jimmy the Cow says the new firmware flash reset the startup values, need to change them. CH3 says ESC power rating is set to 2S in the config. Doesn't matter. That ESC power rating doesn't do anything. Nyafu says, where can I see the spreadsheet? It is linked in Tech Talk over on my Patreon. All right, there we go. I have to max these out because 0.21. Just be like that. Motor timing to medium. I hope that motor timing wasn't at medium high a minute ago. Kind of doesn't matter though. 2 minutes and rate settings. All right, so we're back. All right, now I get to grab a 2G4 build, and the first thing I'm going to do is see if there is a version of 0.71 on BL Heli, so that I don't waste a bunch more time. I'm weirdly glad that happened, though, because here, if you're thinking of seeing if BL Heli is going to be better, here's the first thing that you need to do. Where the hell are all my 2G4 builds at? I just sent Spider Sugar one to try out. Did I really send him my only 2G4 freestyle build? There's another Mobula 6 2024 build back there. And then I do have some 2G4s. Yeah, I might as well use one of these. I've been using the 2G4s for the drift car chasing rigs because they have more capacitors on them and cleaner video. And so let's use one of these. This one is on higher kV motors, so this is the one that I want to use. So first things first, you're going to plug this in and power it up and take a look in... See, but I'm not going to blast this thing across the room like that because I can't smash this thing. So we're just going to do bench tests. Man, this all fell apart. God damn it. So you need to plug it in first, and you're going to come in here, and you're going to connect. Oh, well, there's no real way to see. All right, let's do the bench test first. There's no way to see other than by clicking flash. And so let's do this bench test first. Zoom you in a little bit. This and this should give me the data that I want if we're really honest here. All right, so let's see what we get. These are 36,000 kV Firefly motors on a 2G4. Ready? 64,000. 64, 65. 64. 64, 65. So we're going to say 64, 65. 64K to 65K. All right. And I'm surprised there's that much of a difference between these motors when I'm holding the thing still. 36,000 versus 40,000. All right, so hold on. I need to. This is Mob 6 36K. 36K. All right, and this is on, in theory, Bluejay 0.16. And so now we're going to see if this will, if there is a version of BL Heli 0.71 for this AIO. So you plug it in, you disconnect from Betaflight because you need to connect to ESC configurator. You hit connect here, read settings, make sure your transmitter's turned off. Motor timing medium. Yeah, this is on 0.16. So we're going to go to flash all ESCs. We're going to change it to BL Heli S. And we need 16.71 in order to use RPM filtering. And then we flash. Normal, 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 normal. Nope. God damn it, dude. Oh, you son of a bitch, you. What is it? 16.71? 16.71. Let's see if there's a spot that has the hexes listed. Oh man, this sucks, dude. I'm actually really surprised that there's not a version of it for the 2G4 because the 2G4's been out forever. So, hold on. Let me find the link to Bluejay 0.16. I have it somewhere here. God damn it, dude. This just became so much more annoying. Shit, man. I'm not good enough at GitHub where I can like navigate here. Hold on. Stator volume, newbie drone stream. Where the hell is that link to Bluejay 0.16? Aspect ratio. Oh, don't tell me I've fucking lost that link. Are you shitting me? Dude. Hold on. Oh boy, this is some bullshit right here. Bluejay 0.16. Fuck you. Does anybody have that link to Bluejay to the Bluejay page with 0.16? with all the different hex files. Search or jump to 0.16. Will that work? I'm so bad at GitHub. One of you has to have that link. I've shared the link a bunch of times. Who's got that link? Oh my god, it's 11:58 already. Oh my god, this is such a fail. Fuck. Hold on. I bet you I've put that link on. I bet you that link is somewhere on my Patreon. Let me come in here and let's look at my own Patreon page. Wow, I don't even know how to do that. How do I search my own Patreon page? Oh, God. Recent posts. Search posts. Here we go. 0.16. Find it. Please find it. Find it, bro. Come on, baby. Nope. Dude. No. God damn you. Let me just try searching for Bluejay 0.16. Ah, look at this. I bet you it's in here. I'm a fucking genius. You guys, are you excited to have gotten to see a legitimate genius in action? See, look, the link is somewhere. I just don't know where the hell it is. Bluejay 0.16, and I want to put this into FPV. Done. Good to go. All right. It was in here. It's in here somewhere. It's just called Bluejay. That was a stupid thing to call it. Whatever. I don't know where the hell it is. Okay. What was I even doing in here? Why was I even... Why was I coming in here? I was looking for this. Oh, because I wanted to see if it was if it was a hex. Okay, so if I like grab this, what is it? OH5. Okay, hold on. Let's look at this. Watch me mastermind this shit. Ready? So, in theory, they've used the same naming convention. And so what I need to look up is... Where the hell did ESC configurator go? There it is. So I need to connect. I need to read settings. And OH5. Okay, OH5. That's the 2G4. The 2G4 is OH5. I feel like the Mobula 6 2024 is the same one. Wasn't it also OH5? Let's take a look. Okay. Oh, come on, dude. Don't not connect. What are you doing? Show up, you bastard. Oh, that's weird. OH5, yeah, cool. Okay, so OH5, that's what I needed to know. All right, let's see. OH5. OH5. So let's come back here, and I didn't mean to do that. OH5. So what happens if I just Google search that? It finds it. Okay, cool. So watch this. Let's go OH5 dash 48 and then 16.71. Balls. What if I do 16.70? Will that find? Well, that doesn't find it either. Shit. Oh, I thought I was so fucking clever with that. So GitHub BL, I think it's underscore Heli. I need to try to find the individual hex files listed out. Teleport FPV says no go. How are you looking? Well, let's see. Sometimes when you launch the configurator, there's a hyperlink in there that'll go... Oh, you piece of shit. Can you fucking work? Please, dude. Why? Oh, Heli S is so old. I need to find that list. I need to find a list of... I mean, I don't need to. I think this is worthless, but I would love to find a list of the BL Heli hexes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you giant pile of shit. How dare you. And I just reinstalled the configurator, so I can't even really reinstall it. GitHub BL Heli list of hex. Where are the list of hex files? Where would that be? Repositories? Not going to be in here, is it? No, it's not in the nightlies. So this just brings me back to where I was a second ago. Where would that list of hexes be? Public sources? No. Forks? No. No. I mean, maybe there isn't. Maybe the BL Heli GitHub doesn't have that list of hexes, but I bet you it does. I bet you it does. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't. Really? Come on, man. Stay open. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. GitHub. GitHub. Okay, fine. Oh, you son of a bitch. Application source code. Is that a thing? Drivers? That's probably not it. Oh, you. Oh, and it takes those windows with it. This is insane. No! Stay up. No, the dock doesn't work. Where's my dock gone? Oh god, I broke the fucking computer now. Oh, come on, man. Don't be like this. This is insane, dude. Really? Let's do some more Googling. I'm pretty close to giving up, though. Assets? No! No. Shit. Well, what about this? Source? Nah, it's just a zip file. God damn it, dude. Denzel the Terrible says, does BL Heli save it in its own archive somewhere in your PC? I don't... I mean, maybe. But I think most of these go online to grab them, right? That's the problem with BL Heli 32. Ooh, here we go. Looking for BL Heli hex file repository. Oh, BL Heli 32. Damn it. Yeah, this is somebody that's got an old ESC 2 years ago. Yeah, that's where we lost BL Heli 32. Shit. Shit sticks. Denzel the Terrible says, there's a BL Heli hex files folder in my application folder. No shit. Oh my god. Alright. What's in, how is that organized? Are there any OH5s in there? There's not. This is a waste of time, but I mean, we're here. We might as well spend another couple seconds. Shitballs. Denzel says mine's empty. Awesome. Bit dump. Oh, look at this. This is different. Bit dump and then BL Heli. Maybe there's hold on. Let's go in here. Oh, this is, oh no, BL S. Oh god, GitHub is so fucking confusing. What's this? Oh god, code. No, keep the code away from me. It makes no sense. Make hex files? No, this is all just weird code nonsense. Ooh, hex files. Now what? What? What do I need? OH5? O, here are the O's. OH. No OH5. OH0. Wait, hold on. Oh, there it is. Oh, right. Okay, so this is 16.7. We were able to flash 16.7 OH5. Let me guess. There's not going to be a folder of hex files for 16.71. Nope. You dirty rat hose. Here's the link. Heli S, SI Labs. Let's collapse this. SI Labs, hex files! Oh, this is weird. This is not BL Heli. Yeah, it's just SI. I see. Yeah, no. Maybe they pulled all of the .71s down. So we can't do this testing. The only way to do the testing would be to have an actual thrust stand, and then no RPM, use 16.7 with no RPM filtering. And I'm not willing to sacrifice the RPM filtering anyway because it flies so much better. So yeah, I guess maybe they pulled 16.71 down, or 16.71 is somewhere else in here, but I don't know how to navigate this, right? This is ridiculous. So where is it? Where okay, so this is bit dump BL Heli. Yeah, Denzel says, where's Kevin Sumner when you need him? Yeah, right. So this is bit dump, then BL Heli, then it's in code. So let's see. Let's see. BL Heli. Wait, no. BL Heli GitHub. So bit dump BL Heli. That's the same one, right? Bit dump BL Heli. That's not what we want. We want there was another GitHub. Is this it? This is it. Okay. Betaflight BL. Oh, that's interesting. Betaflight then BL Heli S. So what do I want to look at code? I want to look at no. I need that thing on the left there. Shit. Oh, there he is. Hey Kevin, we need to find the goddamn BL Heli S 16.71 beta hex files, and I'm just useless on GitHub. I found them here, bitdump BL Heli, and I found hex files here, but this is only 16.7, which doesn't work with RPM filtering, so we can't get the RPM data out of it. I need to somehow find the 16.71 hexes. It's not going to matter. It doesn't exist. But I need the OH5 16.71 hex. This is a wild goose chase, but we're so deep into this wild goose chase that we might as well just keep smashing. 16.71. What happens if I just search for that? Nothing. What happens if I come over here and search for 16.71? There's a pull request. Great. 2 commits. Ooh! Ooh! Hex files 16.71. Ooh! 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 Oh, there's no O's at all. H, it goes straight from H to P. Oh man, that sucks, dude. Yeah, so there just aren't. I mean, there are a lot of these 16.71s. Well, here's the link. Wow, I'm stunned that I was able to find this. So we can't, I mean, the long and short of it is that we can't do this testing on Happy Model boards. Happy Model boards use specific, we just don't have the hex for it in 16.71. Shit sticks. Okay, well, out of sheer morbid curiosity, let's see what the Hummingbird V4 is on. No, because that's NX69. Let's take a look at a Beta FPV AIO. I don't know which Beta FPV AIO this is, but we're just gonna look anyway. Of course I need the dongle. Why wouldn't I need the dongle? It's dongle o'clock. We have to dongle the dongles. We have to dingle the dongles. That's all there is to it. Wow, this was I am I'm pretty annoyed right now. Like, this is why FPV is bullshit right here. This live stream is such a perfect example of why FPV can suck my fat ass every day of the week. Just like, I just wanted to know, man. I wanted to know, but that's too much to ask. It's too much to ask to know. You can't know. Connect, read settings. So this is AX5. AX5. Disconnect, pull the battery. AX. Where the hell did it go? There it is. AH. Yeah, see, no AXs. Yeah, so the Heli S is so old that none of these new ESCs are going to have the files that you need. And so, like, I didn't think about that. I did not think that it's... Man, that's some bullshit. That is some baby back bullshit right there. So in order to do this, we would need to do it on old ass gear. And like, at that point, who cares? Because you're not gonna run old ass gear, right? Like, oh man, that's maddening. Kevin Summers building a thrust stand, nice. Yeah, like, even if we could do this with a thrust stand, what's the best case scenario? It's the two scenarios are that we do all this work, and on the test stand, Heli S makes more thrust. Oh, great! You can't do it anyway because because you can't get gear that works with it, or it doesn't make more power, and then we just wasted all that time. Teleport says, "Wait, I run old ass gear. I run old ass gear too, but like, you're gonna have to run really old gear, like the 2G4. That's like 4 or 5 years old, but it's not even, like Heli S. Heli S is going back like 6-7 years, So there you go. I mean, we answered the question. What was the question? Could Heli actually be better than Bluejay? No, because you can't run it on any gear that you currently have. And so, actually, I mean, the answer to the question is yes, it could be better, but you'll never know if it is, because it's so old that there aren't versions of it that'll work on gear from the last 5 years. And so, I got this old ass ESC and it makes 10 more grams of thrust. Wow, cool. 5 batteries later, that ESC explodes, and now you feel twice as bad because you can't get that old ass ESC anymore. Kevin Sumner says, I'd take that data to the Bluejay devs and say, guys, what's going on here? There is no data. I can't get Heli S data. So what I would actually need to do is go to a tradies who's and tell him to go to the Bluejay devs, but he doesn't really have much data. He's got like racing data, which is not like this. I was trying to get actual Kevin Summers saying exactly what I'm saying here. I don't know. I feel like I've seen at least 1 or 2 tests of Heli S versus Bluejay, and Bluejay did better. I'm pretty sure that Rosser tested it at some point. I'm pretty sure that... Oh, is this it? Yeah, there you go. Bluejay 32 versus... Oh, Bluejay 32 versus Bluejay. Oh, no, here you go. 55 amp ESC testing. Bluejay 32, Heli S, Bluejay, AM32. Here we go.
Procedure.
So, thrust versus throttle. Heli S... Well... Why did he do it this way? He's testing all different ESCs. That's an odd way to test it, isn't it? Oh, no. Okay, no. Here we go. Speedy B 55 amp on Bluejay and then on BL Heli S. Perfect. So we're looking for purple versus green. And so there's the purple down the bottom, and then there's the green in the middle. Purple down they kind of even out here towards the middle, and then there's the purple down the bottom and the green in the middle. So, and then thrust versus throttle. They're pretty much even. The BLHS is ever so slightly above here, but then they cross over, and Bluejay is above all the way up here, and then they kind of cross, but then they cross again, and now it just gets all kinds of muddy and messy. The purple is on top up here. Yeah, I mean, they're so close together there, though, that I don't think it really matters. And then torque versus RPM. We've got the green is doing really, really well. Bluejay is doing really well here. The purple is lagging behind. And then responsiveness. Bluejay, BL Heli S. BL Heli S is RPM per second. Yeah, so higher is better on this chart. Oh, that's weird. The acceleration, BL Heli S did a little bit better on the acceleration than Bluejay, but it did worse on the deceleration. That's odd. But yeah, there you go. That's the best I can do. Bluejay works totally fine, and there are versions of it that will work with RPM filtering on current hardware. Yeah, the fact that we can't put BL Heli S onto any of the stuff that we're currently running means that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's better. We can't use it. If you have gear that there is a version of BL Heli S 16.71, feel free to test it. So here's your test methodology. You take a battery, you fully charge it, you put RPM in your post-flight statistics in Betaflight. You go outside, you immediately get it up in the air and just hammer the throttle, either straight up or sideways. Straight up is probably better. Take it off dead, put it down somewhere. There's a big hole in the trees above you. Put it down, arm it, get it into a perfectly level hover, hammer it. Let the motors wind all the way up, bring it down, disarm it, look at what the RPM is, charge that battery back up, do it again. Or if you have a couple of the same batteries, right? Do that a couple times, put those batteries back on the charger, change the version from Bluejay to BL Heli, and do that exact same thing again, and just compare those RPMs. And if BL Heli S does better, don't tell us, because most of us are using gear that we can't put BL Heli S on. Oh my God, man. What a kick in the balls. So I'm going to put both of these links into the description of the video right now. 16.71. There's that GitHub. Well, just that 16.71 Although you don't really need this link, because in ESC Configurator, if there is a version of 16.71, it's going to go grab it and it's going to install it for you. So you don't really need this link, but since it took me so long to find it, there it is in the description. I hope you learned something today, because I sure didn't. I guess I learned how to use GitHub a little bit better. I don't know. I'm pretty proud of myself that I was able to find this shit on GitHub. Kevin Sumner says, yet another reason I'd like to see AM32 on 1S boards. Yeah, but none of the 1S boards are 32-bit. You know what I mean? I don't know of any 1S boards that are 32 that have ever been 32-bit. I guess it's a space thing. I'm assuming that 32-bit you got to run a bigger chipset, and there's just not enough room. But yeah, there you go. Anything in chat that I didn't cover? Nope, we're caught up. Sorry, I was hoping to figure this out, but I think we got to a point where it doesn't matter that I couldn't do the testing, because I wish I'd checked that out first. I wish I'd checked this out before the fucking live stream. I could have just not live streamed about this. We could have actually learned something, but you know, hey, it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thursday, November 27th now. Oh, Kevin Sumner thinks it's Price. Okay. There we go. All right. Be good, friends. Sorry we couldn't actually complete this testing, but maybe you learned something. Jesus Christ on a crutch. Oh, boy. Here's some flying in the front yard. What am I flying here? This is a whoop of some sort. I'm hoping that the audio will pop up here and I can know what I'm flying. I don't know. The audio's not working. This looks like something 2S. Be good, friends. I'll see you Friday.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a 2D smile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Soddy's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Soddy behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in. Teddy, yeah. Let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind. Teddy, yep, yeah. CiottiFPV, yeah. Teddy spaghetti, yeah. Coming at duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. Zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a 2D smile. Teddy spaghetti, Teddy and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. Zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a 2D smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotty and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPVs, fur-faced legends, legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.